They will hug you at the door and plot against you at the table. They will clap for you in the meeting and cut you down the second you leave the room. They will call you friend to your face while quietly building a case against you behind your back. And here's the part that destroys most men. You never see it coming. Betrayal doesn't knock. It doesn't announce itself. It slides in wearing the mask of concern, the mask of advice, the mask of loyalty, until one day the room feels different. Conversations die the second you walk in. Doors that used to open for you start quietly closing. The people who used to have your back now study you like a threat. That's the moment you realize it. They've turned. And most men respond exactly wrong. They fight. They over-explain. They beg to be understood. That's what amateurs do. Machiavelli would tell you something colder and far more useful: don't defend. Observe, go silent. Watch the board like a strategist standing over a room full of pawns who think they're players. Because the second someone shows you hostility, they've handed you their entire playbook for free. This is Machiavellian thinking at its core. Not cruelty, not paranoia, discipline. And today, you're going to learn how to build a mind that cannot be baited, broken, or bought. Because once you master this, you stop being hunted. You become the one thing every room secretly fears. The masks always fall. Every man eventually hits this wall. The air in the room shifts quietly, not with a bang. The people who once leaned in now lean away. The voices that used to back you get suspiciously quiet. Familiar walls suddenly feel foreign. That's reality showing its true face. Machiavelli built his entire worldview on one uncomfortable truth. Loyalty is a transaction, not a virtue. People stay close to you while you're predictable, agreeable, small enough not to threaten the pecking order. The moment you sharpen, the moment discipline starts separating you from the herd, you become dangerous to the very people who claim to support you. Not because you attacked them, because you outgrew them. Machiavelli understood this centuries before modern psychology gave it a name. A man who can't be rattled, who can't be baited, who watches more than he talks. That man is nearly impossible to control. And people feel that in their gut long before they can explain it. So the smiles get tighter, the compliments get more careful, and loyalty quietly starts leaking out the door. Here's where most men blow it. They panic. They chase every broken relationship, defending a reputation nobody actually attacked. That panic is the tell. It screams weakness. Because real power was never interested in being understood, it studies. When the masks come off, your job isn't to react. Your job is to take notes. Every silence tells you something. Every sudden coldness tells you something. Every subtle jab at your position is data, and data is leverage. The people turning on you are, without realizing it, exposing their fears, their ambitions, their insecurities. This is the split between an ordinary man and a Machiavellian one. The ordinary man takes betrayal personally. The Machiavellian man takes it as intelligence. If that lens, drop this in the comments. My mind is my weapon. Say it again if you actually mean it. Because from here on, you're not stumbling through the social chessboard blind. You're reading it 3 moves ahead. And a man who reads the board instead of reacting to it is very, very hard to beat. Why rising makes you a target, so why does the room turn the second you start winning? Machiavelli's answer, stripped of the flattery, it's rarely hatred. It's fear. Fear of being outshined. Fear of losing rank. Fear of watching someone climb past a ceiling they quietly agreed to live under. Underneath the small talk and the friendly texts, there's a war going on for status that nobody admits to fighting. Machiavelli mapped this out with brutal clarity. Loyalty lasts exactly as long as interests line up. the second your growth threatens someone else's comfort, that loyalty starts to rot. Not because people are evil, because self-preservation always beats sentiment. Your discipline becomes a mirror they didn't ask for. Your ambition exposes the excuses they've been living on. Your independence is a quiet reminder that they picked the easy road. And nobody enjoys a mirror they can't smash. So instead of rising with you, they try to drag you back down to a height that doesn't threaten them. This is where the whisper campaign starts. Small jabs, vague criticism. Your motives suddenly need explaining. Your success gets rewritten as arrogance, luck, or something darker. Because it's easier for a fragile ego to believe you changed for the worse than to admit you simply got better. That's why betrayal so often wears a familiar face. The people standing closest to you are the ones who watch your transformation happen in real time, and transformation is a threat to anyone standing still. But here's the Machiavellian reframe. Betrayal isn't always an attack. Sometimes it's just a weak position, flinching at a stronger one. Once you see it that way, betrayal stops being personal. It becomes strategic information. Every whisper is a confession of insecurity. Every jab is a confession of fear. And a man who can read those confessions in real time becomes dangerous not with his fists, with his mind. If that hits, comment, I see the game clearly. Because once you start reading human behavior through Machiavelli's lens instead of raw emotion, betrayal stops shocking you. You start expecting it. And a man who expects betrayal can never truly be blindsided by it. Rule 1. Never hand them your emotions. Emotion is the easiest string to pull. Yank it once, and a man will show you everything: his fears, his insecurities, his desperate need to be understood. That's exactly what manipulators go hunting for. The instant frustration flashes across your face, the instant you rush to defend yourself, you've handed your opponent a map. Machiavelli's cold logic applies perfectly here. Powerful men never let their emotions become ammunition in someone else's hands. They keep the surface still, even while the storm underneath is real. This isn't the honest man's game. It's the disciplined man's game. Weak men react on impact. An accusation lands, they scramble to defend it. A rumor spreads, they chase it down to correct it. A challenge appears, they answer with heat. Every one of those reactions is a piece of the puzzle handed straight to the enemy. The disciplined mind does the opposite. Tension rises, it goes quiet. Provocation lands, it goes still. An attack comes, it just watches. That silence is uncomfortable for everyone else in the room. People expect the explosion. When it doesn't come, the entire psychological balance flips. Your calm starts to feel dangerous. Your stillness starts to feel unpredictable. And unpredictable men are nearly impossible to control. This isn't about swallowing your emotions, it's about mastering them. Anger will still exist, disappointment will still land, betrayal will still sting somewhere, but none of it gets to drive the car. A Machiavellian mind treats emotion like weather, it passes through, but it never decides the destination. That's where real leverage starts. The moment people realize they can't provoke you, their entire strategy collapses. Because manipulation runs on emotional access, and you just cut the line. Remember it this way: the man who reacts becomes predictable. The man who stays composed becomes dangerous. If that resonates, comment "calm is my advantage." Say it twice if it's true. Because once your emotions are under lock, you unlock the most underrated weapon in any psychological standoff: silence. Rule 2. Silence is a weapon. Machiavellian minds don't rush to speak. They watch first. In tense moments, most people feel this animal urge to explain themselves immediately. to correct every misread, to fill the air before it gets uncomfortable. It feels natural, and that's exactly why manipulators count on it. Every rushed explanation is another clue about what's really going on in your head. Machiavelli understood something most people never grasp. Whoever controls the silence controls the room. People expose their real intentions the second they can't stand an empty pause. Meet an accusation with an argument, and the fight just continues. Meet it with calm stillness instead, and the entire atmosphere shifts. Doubt creeps into the accuser. Did it land? Did it miss? What's actually happening behind that calm face? Uncertainty drains confidence fast, and confidence is the fuel every confrontation runs on. A man who talks non-stop shows his whole hand. A man who chooses his words forces everyone else to show theirs first. Most people can't survive silence for long. They start over-explaining. They repeat themselves. They spill details nobody even asked for: motives, insecurities, the real reason behind a confrontation, all handed over free of charge. This is why restraint might be the single most Machiavellian weapon there is. Silence buys you observation. Observation buys you patterns. Patterns expose the whole strategy, and once the strategy is visible, the entire game changes in your favor. A calm, quiet presence in a room often carries more weight than the loudest argument in it. The man who doesn't scramble to defend himself reads as composed. The man who studies the room before he opens his mouth reads as certain. Certainty doesn't beg for approval, it lets everyone else expose themselves first. If this clicks for you, comment, "Silence is my strength," because once silence becomes part of your strategy, the hidden architecture of every room starts to show itself: quiet alliances, buried rivalries, small power plays nobody says out loud. And once you see the game under the surface, you stop reacting to it. You start predicting it. Reading the room like Machiavelli, most men only respond to what's visible: the words, the expressions, the surface level moment. But the real game is never played on the surface. Machiavelli's whole philosophy rests on this. Power is rarely about what people say. It's about what they actually want, and intentions almost never show themselves directly. They hide inside patterns. Why did someone back you last week and go cold this week? Why does someone praise you in public and quietly undercut you the moment you're not there? Why does your confidence make certain people visibly uneasy? Those questions crack open the invisible hierarchy running underneath every room: influence, reputation, control, all fighting silently for position. Most people never notice it. They assume small talk is just small talk, that kindness is always sincere, that criticism is always fair. But once your awareness sharpens, a different picture appears. Every environment is full of competing agendas, some chasing validation, some chasing authority, some just guarding the position they already have. And the moment your growth disturbs that balance, resistance shows up, rarely loud, usually a quiet dismissal, a subtle exclusion, criticism dressed up as concern. Most men take that personally. The Machiavellian observer stays calm because resistance is proof of impact. Nobody wastes energy resisting someone who isn't a threat. That single realization changes how you move through the world. You stop just hearing words. You start reading behavior: a hesitation in a handshake, a change in tone, a glance traded between two people when your name comes up. That's the real language of power. And the man who learns to read it sees the situation before anyone else even admits there is one. If this is landing, drop. I see the game clearly. Turning isolation into leverage: isolation stings at first. The conversations stop. The familiar faces drift. A room that used to feel safe suddenly feels quiet. Most men read that as rejection and rush straight back to the environments that made them comfortable, even the ones that were quietly holding them back. Machiavelli saw it differently, and so should you. Isolation isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's just distance from noise. With fewer voices crowding your head, your thinking sharpens. You get space to study patterns, review your own mistakes, and see reality without the static of everyone else's opinions bleeding into yours. That's exactly why the sharpest strategic minds in history spent real time alone. Machiavelli himself understood the value of stepping back from the crowd to study it with clear eyes. Distance creates perspective. Stay surrounded too long and you start absorbing everyone else's fears and expectations without even noticing. Isolation breaks that spell. In the quiet, your thoughts finally belong to you again, and that's where real discipline starts to grow. You start weighing decisions with patience instead of impulse. You start reviewing your mistakes without your ego stepping in to protect itself. Weak minds run from this because solitude strips away the noise that was hiding their weak spots. Strong minds lean into it because solitude is a training ground, the place where discipline finally replaces comfort. At first it just feels quiet. Then it feels focused. Eventually, it feels like power, because a man who's genuinely comfortable alone with his own mind becomes almost impossible to manipulate. Approval stops mattering. Peer pressure loses its grip. Decisions start coming from clarity instead of noise. That's the moment isolation stops feeling like loss and starts feeling like freedom. If that hits, comment. Pressure creates power. Studying people the Machiavellian way, real power starts with understanding, not noise. Machiavelli's core lesson was simple and ruthless. Control the situation by knowing people better than they know themselves. And that knowledge never comes from asking. It comes from watching. Watch how someone acts the moment they gain a small edge. Watch how they behave when the spotlight moves off them. Watch how they talk about people who aren't in the room. Those small, unguarded moments reveal character far more honestly than any public performance ever will. Notice the ones who constantly chase validation, they're the easiest to influence. Notice the ones starving for recognition, they'll trade loyalty for opportunity without blinking. Notice the ones guarding their position, they'll quietly push back against anyone who threatens it. Once you start clocking these patterns, people stop being mysterious. You stop getting blindsided by betrayal because you spot the early signals long before impact. And once you can predict behavior, you control timing, and timing decides everything. Move too early, you expose your hand. Move too late, the window's gone. Move at exactly the right second, and the entire balance of power shifts toward you. If this mindset is resonating, comment, I study the game. Controlling the narrative before they do. Every environment runs on stories nobody says out loud. Who's respected? Who's trusted? Who's quietly losing ground? Those stories rarely come from facts. They come from interpretation. Machiavelli knew this centuries before personal brand was a phrase. Whoever controls perception controls the entire battlefield before the real conflict even starts. Most men assume their intentions will speak for themselves. They won't. If you don't shape how you're seen, someone else will happily do it for you, and their version won't be flattering. Consistency reads as reliability. Silence reads as confidence. Emotional outbursts read as vulnerability. People are always watching more than they let on your tone, your timing, how you carry yourself the second tension enters the room. There's a second Machiavellian edge here too, being underestimated. Let people believe you're less capable than you are, and resistance drops. Opponents relax. They talk more openly. Meanwhile, you're building in silence, because real strength rarely announces itself. It shows up when the results do the talking. If that lands, comment, perception shapes reality. The moment you finally move, every conflict eventually forces a decision. The moment watching ends and acting begins. Most men wreck it right here. Weeks of tension, of feeling betrayed or underestimated, and they finally snap. They confront in anger. They swing without thinking about the landing. It feels powerful for about 10 seconds. Then it costs them everything, because emotion kills precision. Machiavelli's warning still holds. The goal was never revenge for revenge's sake. The goal is an effective response, calm, calculated, perfectly timed. A disciplined man never strikes just to release pressure. He strikes when the outcome is already clear. Timing is everything. Move too soon, people band together against you. Move too late, the opening's already gone. Move at the exact right second, with the right read on the room, and the whole balance shifts in an instant. That's the highest level of the game. Control over other people is temporary. Control over your own mind is permanent. A man who can't be provoked can't be manipulated. A man who doesn't chase approval can't be controlled. That's where real power lives. Calm mind, sharp awareness, strategic patience. Untouchable. If you've made it this far, comment, "My mind cannot be controlled." And if this sharpened something in you, stay close, because every video here is built on one man's cold, brilliant blueprint for reading people, controlling the room, and never being caught off guard again. Machiavelli didn't just study power, he mastered the psychology behind it. Now you're starting to as well.